Chances are you clicked on this video because you're someone who finds it hard to keep a balanced schedule. What if I told you there is a way to create your dream schedule that is guaranteed to make progress in your goals? In this video, I'm going to break down my schedule building framework that has helped me develop an array of skills, improve my fitness, and balance even my social life. A schedule is an absolute must when you have committed to a self-improvement journey or any long-term goal. If you take a look at any successful person, you will realize that they all follow some type of a routine or a schedule. This keeps them accountable and consistent, but I'll admit that it is extremely difficult to follow a schedule until you understand the scheduling framework that I'm about to cover in this video. Before we get into the framework, let's understand the 3 biggest reasons to why schedules fail and lead to frustration. Number 1, it's too tight, no breathing room. Usually in this case, it is too crammed between the tasks and there's no breathing room. And also, people fail to account for unforeseen circumstances. For example, you planned your day so that one task follows the next immediately, but then if you get a call and something comes up, then that pushes back everything, and then if it pushes it back too far, your whole schedule's a mess. Number 2, you haven't given yourself enough time to form consistent habits around your schedule. In this case, people find themselves forcing too many changes into their existing schedule. This is usually a byproduct of people wanting to achieve their goals too quickly and not giving themselves that patience. Number 3, no reevaluation. This is a common mistake where we don't audit our schedule to see if it actually is working. How do we feel with it? Is it helping us progress to our goals? Is it hurting our goals? How can we avoid these failures and create a schedule that actually helps us make progress towards our dream life? I've laid out my schedule building framework that I've used for years to make any progress in any long-term goal that I've set. Let's go through the steps of this framework so you can actually implement this into your life and keep yourself consistent and accountable for years to come. So when we take a look at this framework, the first step is to develop a master list. Our master list is basically a list of all the goals that we want to achieve in our life or the foreseeable future. To do this, on a piece of paper, you're going to brain dump and write down all the things that you wish to accomplish in your life or work towards. This could be fitness goals, learning a skill, learning a language, whatever it is that you truly desire to acquire. The tip here is to make this list as extensive as possible and even include things that you didn't think you would be investing in at this point in time. Now that we have our master list, the second part of this framework is to establish our priorities. At any given point in time, there are always going to be goals that are pressing, and these are the ones that we want to focus on the most. Tackling these pressing goals will lead to immediate feelings of accomplishment and help us in generating momentum for later steps in the framework. So what you're going to do with your master list is now assign a number, a ranking, to each one of the goals that you have listed. Once you've completed ranking all of those items on your master list, for numbers 1 to 3 specifically, we're going to define how much time would we want to spend on those activities in a given week. But to take that a step further, we're going to assign 2 values. The first value you're going to assign is your optimistic number of hours. And this is the number of hours in a perfect scenario of how much time you'd want to spend on that activity or task in the week. The second value that you're going to assign is your pessimistic number of hours. And this is the bare minimum amount of hours that you're willing to spend or do, but still make progress towards your overall goal. Now, once we've established those priorities and assigned your number of hours to your top 3 items, then we move on to step number 3, which is identifying your current routines. This could include work, chores, errands, or going to the gym. Now, keep in mind that this step may include things from your master list. As long as you're currently doing them and they are currently in your routine, then be sure to include them in this step. Before we jump into step number 4 of our schedule framework, if you are finding value in this video, then be sure to hit the like button and consider subscribing. I'm committed to posting content consistently focused on you becoming the best version of yourself, version 1X. This is where the games begin. This is step number 4, and this is where we're establishing a working prototype our actual schedule that we'll be following for the next little while. The first thing that we need to do in this step is to find a platform that will host our calendar or schedule that we'll be working with. I personally recommend Google Calendar. It's the one that I've been using for years. I find it integrates well with all the other things that I do, and also it's a very easy interface to use. But feel free to use whatever calendar software you'd like, and if you want to take it old school and write your calendars manually, then that can definitely work too. Just ensure that whatever calendar mode that you're using, you can easily move around your different items during the day. Once we found that platform, then we can go ahead and schedule in our current routine items. If you have done everything right to this point, you'll start to see the empty spaces of where we can potentially slot in our priority items, but please don't get carried away just yet. Now pay close attention, because this is the point where schedules can quickly break down and fail. Even with all these exciting empty spaces, all I want you to do at this point is schedule your first priority with the bare minimum amount of hours. This will ensure that we're not adding too much to our plate, and we're giving ourselves time for that habit to formulate later on. If you are new to making schedules, this is a must. Give yourself 30 minutes to an hour between tasks as a breathing room, and to mentally transition from one task to the next. And just like that, we move on to step number 5, which is execute. This is where we take that working prototype of our schedule and basically carry those day-to-day actions out for weeks on end. Now, it takes 21 days to form a habit, and this is why I do not recommend making any changes to your schedule before 21 days, unless your schedule is ridiculously easy to maintain and you need to up the ante on it. After those 21 days, we're going to perform an audit on your schedule. We're going to analyze how challenging that schedule actually was. How did we perform during it? Do we need more breathing room? Based on that analysis, we can do any of the following. Add more hours to your first priority to get it closer to that optimistic number of hours. Add your next in line priority, but at the pessimistic number of hours. Decrease the number of hours for your priority item that you were working on, and adjust your transitions for more breathing room. All in all, this will be up to your trial and error and finding that balance over time. The key takeaway in this video is that schedules have to be revised from time to time to give you that feeling of control over the schedule. What typically happens in most cases is that when we lose control over that schedule and items keep on getting pushed back, then we just choose to drop the schedule altogether. The idea is to be proactive and be ahead of our schedule and managing that, so that with each iteration we get closer to our dream state and our dream life. I recommend that you watch this video. It will go over how to stay disciplined and commit to your schedule during tough times.